Right now, President Trump is in Wisconsin. The Vice President, Mike Pence, is about to address the crowd. We will go live with an update from downtown Milwaukee.
An incident with gunfire could leave a popular Janesville music venue without its liquor license.
Plus, hear from a concerned mother as a judge weighs in on a violent sex offender placed next door to her and her 3 children.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
And thanks for joining us. We are about an hour away now from the president's address in Milwaukee.
President Trump will speak to a crowd at the Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee. Amy Reed joins us from there to share how the city feels about him coming. Amy?
Vice President.
Well, supporters are excited, especially as we're awaiting Vice President Mike Pence to take the stage. Now, supporters have filled about 90% of this arena that can hold about 13,000. Many were fans of Trump in 2016, and they're sticking with him in 2020. That's just a taste of the energy inside. They're chanting 4 more years. Supporters are telling us this election is clear. If you like the way the economy is going, Trump is your guy. Other issues people liked is how the United States is handling foreign policy and national security. They're also enjoying the electoral spotlight that is Wisconsin. It was an important flip in 2016, and the role of this state this year is not lost on people who either support Trump or don't.
I'm sure he will be coming. He learned his lesson from 2016, Hillary. You ignore Wisconsin, you may be getting beat. So I don't think Donald Trump's going to ignore Wisconsin at all.
We could make up the difference to that just in Milwaukee alone. And so I often say, like, even when you're looking at Milwaukee, you really should be looking at the north side of Milwaukee and how much untapped potential there is there. And if we can mobilize that, then we can swing the election and change the world. And so we've just been going out and
You just heard from Rick Banks with the organization Black Leaders Organizing for Communities. This morning, he helped train lead ambassadors that go door to door on Milwaukee's north side to try and get people to vote on issues they care about. He thinks that can be the key in Wisconsin, which in turn could make or break the election. He doesn't think Trump has a chance for those votes. Now, Milwaukee will be central again in about 6 months for the Democratic National Convention, and that'll be at Pfizer Forum, which is just about a block away. Certainly, Wisconsin won't lose that political spotlight between now and then.
Amy Reed reporting live from downtown Milwaukee tonight. Amy, thank you.
President Trump won Wisconsin, as you heard, by fewer than 23,000 votes in 2016, partially because of his surprise victory in Racine County. President Obama won the county in 2008 and 2012. Racine flipped red due to low voter turnout, especially among black voters. Turnout among black Wisconsinites fell nearly 19% between 2012 and 2016.
Why didn't voters come out for Hillary Clinton?
It was a lack of organizing. Black people have realized our vote is being taken for granted. There's a democratic America that looks at Donald Trump as, like, you know, he's the worst thing ever. Black people are kind of like, yawn, you know. Hey, I've seen worse.
Both parties have their sights on Wisconsin voters. Tonight, 6 Democratic presidential candidates will be on the debate stage in Iowa. They're each looking for a breakout performance before Iowa voters caucus on February 3rd. A new poll shows former Vice President Joe Biden leading a tight race, but a majority of Iowa caucus goers say they are open to changing their minds about their candidate of choice. You can watch the debate tonight on CNN at 7 o'clock.
An order to remove more than 200,000 names from Wisconsin's voter rolls is again on hold. That's according to an appeals court decision today. This is a win for Democrats who say deleting the names amounts to unlawful voter suppression. Yesterday, a judge ruled the Wisconsin Elections Commission in contempt of court for not removing those names. Meanwhile, the Elections Commission has hired an advertising firm for a campaign aimed at reassuring voters that Wisconsin's elections are secure. Commissioners voted today to spend $260,000 to hire Madison-based KW2 to develop that campaign. It could include online content, videos, and graphics. The money is coming from interest earned on a $7 million federal grant the state received in 2018 to bolster election security.
To weather, roads could be a little slick for your morning commute tomorrow. Let's check your first alert forecast. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Dave?
Well, some snow, Eric, and some freezing rain is possible for tomorrow morning, so the morning and midday commute could be a little little dicey in some spots. Not expecting too much, but just enough to give yourself a few extra minutes. Right now, we're quiet. We've been quiet for most of our Tuesday in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Mostly cloudy skies, 33 degrees with a wind chill of 29 with that westerly wind at 5 miles per hour. Other temperatures, 34 in Janesville, 31 in Monroe, into the mid-20s north and west of Madison, closer to La Crosse and Viroqua. Wind chills are in the teens and in the 20s for the most part, actually, across southern Wisconsin right now. Wind chill, not a big factor. We do look for the cold weather to really settle in by the time we get to next week, but we have a couple of snow systems to talk about before we get there. Temperatures starting off in the low 20s tomorrow, with that snow making its way into southern Wisconsin. By about 6 or 7 in the morning, it will be around for all of the morning hours into the early afternoon. We'll talk about another system possibly on the way Friday into Saturday in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Tomorrow night, there's an opportunity to help select the next police chief of Middleton. The Police Commission is holding a public forum in the City Hall chambers where residents can meet the finalist. Candidates will be asked a list of questions written based on feedback from community members. The meeting begins tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
In Monroe County, a 49-year-old man is dead after a garage fire in the town of Oakdale. It happened before noon yesterday on Honeysuckle Avenue off County Highway N. First responders found the building fully engulfed. When they arrived, Richard Cease was found dead inside. Cause of that fire under investigation. There is no indication of foul play. And an update on our breaking news from yesterday in Evansville. No one was home when a fire broke out at this home on West Liberty Street, but multiple pets lost their lives. Several departments responded to the fire. Due to the age of the structure of the home, the fire was able to spread to multiple small spaces inside the home. Crews spent 3 hours opening up walls to extinguish the flames. The cause of that fire also remains under investigation.
The Marshall Police Department is asking for help with the search for a missing 16-year-old. Lucas Wills was last seen leaving his home on Overlook Terrace at 10 o'clock Sunday night. Police say there is reason to believe he may be in the Milwaukee area. Anyone with information is asked to call Marshall Police. A popular Janesville bar and music venue could lose its liquor license because of a shots fired incident in November. Police were called to Back Bar on Beloit Avenue in Janesville following a party in November. The bar's co-owner says it had been rented out for the night, and right before closing, he heard shots coming from the parking lot. He says losing the license would be unfair, but police say it's a chance to reduce gun violence.
I'm the one who called 911. I'm the one who cooperated heavily with the JPD, invited him into my office the following morning to review the videos, found 3 separate angles of the gunshots in the parking lot, proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that the gunshots were on Kellogg Avenue.
The city's Alcohol Advisory Committee is expected to make a decision on the issue this Friday.
A mother of 3 in Richland County says her family can sleep tonight after learning that a violent sex offender has been ordered by the court to find another place to live.
Jamie Perez tells us what happened that led up to that decision.
This has been a long and scary battle for a Richland County mother who said she was terrified after she learned a violent sex offender would be moving to right next door, especially in an area that is isolated from the rest of the community. 64-year-old Richard Sugden of Richland County served decades in prison for rape and abduction in the 70s. Set to move 180 feet away from a single mother and her 3 kids, it caught the attention of the courts, and a judge ultimately ruled Sugden needs to find another place to live.
I almost think it's setting up potentially Mr. Sugden for failure by having him so close to an adult woman. And when I look back at Mr. Sugden's conviction history, I cannot order that displacement continues.
This news comes as a relief for Jamie Shannon and her kids.
Just really happy the way it turned out. I don't know, as a mom now, I don't have to worry.
Sugden's attorney said he has been waiting for years to come back to Richland Center and is frustrated that the first home that became available in the area is now off limits.
There's a real problem in Richland County with them being able to find appropriate residents pursuant to the statute. The judge, while I'm disappointed with the results of the hearing, I'm encouraged by the fact that she's going to have Richland County make sure that they locate an appropriate and available residence in this county for Mr. Sugden so he can continue his community treatment.
Sugden now needs to work with the Department of Corrections, and he has 60 days to find a new place to live. In Richland County, I'm Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
The Wisconsin Department of Corrections has informed the Beloit Police Department of a sex offender being released from prison. Effective today, 58-year-old Richard Brange is temporarily living at 1216 Portland Avenue. That is 4 blocks west of the Historical Society. Officials say he's on supervision until January 2024 and will be on lifetime GPS monitoring.
New at 6, Wisconsin Republicans have introduced a package of bills that would make sanctions and sentences tougher on criminals. The legislation would prohibit violent offenders from being discharged early from probation and make them ineligible for early release. The bills also call for a mandatory 180-day jail sentence for shoplifting and expanding the list of crimes that could send a child to jail to any act that would be a felony if committed by an adult.
Next at 6, a big donation to a local food bank will share the amount of cheese and meat being donated to Second Harvest and how grocery store shoppers in our area helped make that happen.
And more local news ahead. We're asking the Humane Society how lead fishing equipment played a role in a swan's death. That's tonight. News 3 Now at 10.
Second Harvest Food Bank has a new supply of fresh deli meat and cheeses to go to southern Wisconsin families who need it. Meat and cheese company Dietz & Watson presented the 3,000-pound donation today along with retail partners Pay 'n Save and Metro Market. It's made possible by their Families Helping Families campaign. That puts a percentage of consumer purchases from supermarket delis toward helping those in need.
We all know that people who are struggling with hunger, they already struggle with other health issues. And so what we want to do is we really want to try to provide them the healthiest product possible.
Second Harvest helps end hunger in 16 southwestern Wisconsin counties. There's a total of $300,000 in grants available for Wisconsin farmers and businesses looking to grow their local markets. DATCAP is accepting applications for the 2020 Buy Local, Buy Wisconsin grants now until February 28th at noon. To apply, you have to be involved in ag production, food processing, distribution, warehousing, or ag tourism. There is a link to the instructions at datcap.wi.gov.
The Statue of Liberty tradition is returning to Lake Mendota for the Wisconsin Union's Winter Carnival. A Facebook post says the free event will happen February 3rd through the 9th, hosted by Wisconsin Union Directorate and the Wisconsin Hoofers. And they're encouraging people to enjoy the outdoors, even in the cold. The Statue of Liberty tradition dates to 1979, back then as an alumni prank. If you're a fan of riding your bicycle all year round, the City of Madison's Engineering Division asks for a little patience as they try to clear snow and ice from paths. Officials say that process takes coordination between the engineering and parks departments. New as of January 1st, crews are clearing paths on weekends and holidays. After big snow events, city officials are also working to build an online map that bikers and runners can use before they head out the door.
So we're looking forward to sharing that in the near future, hopefully here in this winter season. And that way, if you are biking, you can kind of plan ahead to your route so that you know which bike paths are clear and which haven't been touched yet.
Says the city is prioritizing using brushes and machinery to clear those paths, tries to minimize salt use to protect the environment.
President Trump is officially in Milwaukee. This is a live look of Air Force One at Mitchell International Airport. We will have coverage of his comments at the rally tonight on News 3 Now at 10 with political reporter Amy Reed. Coming up in sports, Melissa Kim is live at the Kohl Center as the Badgers take on Maryland. We'll hear how their bench players are expected to play a big role tonight.
And plan some extra time for that morning commute. Roads could be a little slick from a mix of rain and snow. Dave will have your details in your First Alert forecast.
For a forecast that keeps your family safe, watch First Alert Weather.
Meteorologist David Caulfield joins us now, and we're in for some bumpy weather.
Yeah, a little bit. As we head into tomorrow morning, a little bit of snow and freezing rain potentially on the way to southern Wisconsin. That could provide some slick spots for the morning and midday commute. So an alert day is in the forecast. We are watching our next more significant system potentially on the way Friday night into Saturday. So right now we're thinking mainly snow for this one, but we have had some model updates that bring at least the possibility of some freezing rain and possibly some rain into the picture as well. Does look like travel impacts are going to be likely, though, as we head into the day on Saturday. Doppler track is quiet across southern Wisconsin right now. We'll notice that snow and freezing drizzle, freezing rain build in from the south tomorrow morning. But I still think we're about 12 hours away from seeing any of that precipitation. Speaking of that, snow chances. We are looking into the morning hours just in time for that. The end of the commute tomorrow morning. There is some snow and freezing rain possible, but it does get out of here pretty quickly as we head into the afternoon hours, so don't anticipate any problems for the evening commute. But again, a few slick spots are possible Wednesday morning. And then into Thursday, I think we are dry through and through, but we are going to be cold as we head into Thursday with temperatures in the single digits to start out and then in the teens for highs. Live look in Madison in the Edgewater Skycam at mostly cloudy skies. Nice view of the Capitol there shining brightly. 36 degrees today, so we were actually a couple of degrees above freezing. But our snow depth really didn't go anywhere. Still about 3 to 6 inches for most of southern Wisconsin still on the ground, even though we were 10 degrees above normal for this time of year for our high and actually 20 degrees above normal for our low temperature this morning. So temperatures are really up and down over the next 5 days or so, in the 30s tomorrow. And as we head into Thursday, we're pretty cold, but then actually a little bit above normal for Friday and Saturday as our next snow system taking shape. After that, we just get cold and we stay cold for about 5 days or so with temperatures in the teens and low 20s for highs and near zero for lows. So here is our next system potentially on the way. It starts out well west of us Friday morning and then moves through the area as we get into later Friday and Saturday. That low pressure system is close to us in the morning. However, our latest model runs this afternoon have brought this track a little bit farther north. If that happens, we're actually going to be closer to the southern side of this system. Really, actually, Madison is sort of right in that direct path, so we could get a little bit of everything. So if we want just the snow, we want this low pressure system to sag a little bit farther to the south, so we're on the cold side of that system. Still time for things to change there. We're not doing any amounts just yet, so stay with us as we fine tune that track. Temperatures in the 20s tonight, so a little bit colder outside. Tomorrow, that snow moves through in the morning hours, could be mixed with some freezing rain at times, and temperatures will be in the 30s for highs after that snow gets out of here. So tomorrow morning could be a little bit slick in some spots. And as we head into Thursday, we are looking at a cold day ahead of us with highs in the teens. Snow amounts generally less than an inch and ice amounts about a glaze expected. Quick look at that 7 to 10 day forecast with the cold weather on the way for next week.
I'm Melissa Kim. We're live at the Kohl Center, and coming up in sports, I'll show you what to look for tonight against 17th ranked Maryland. That's coming up right on News 3 now at 6. Well, welcome back to the Kohl Center, where the Badgers are hosting 17th ranked Maryland tonight. Tip-off at 8 o'clock in just about an hour and a half. Now, as we told you last night, the Big Ten is really anyone's season this year because everyone has kind of beat everyone else. So I really think right now that every team is still trying to figure out its identity. And when it comes to Wisconsin, their identity so far has been their depth. If you remember the Bucks last season, they thrived on their bench mob. So, well, Reverend Pritzel said earlier in the week that they've got their own bench mob too. They call it the Bomb Squad. He, along with Micah Potter, Tyler Wall, they've all put up some big numbers on the bench. Actually, since Potter's been back since December 21st, they've been averaging about 22 points off the bench, which is pretty good. And from top to bottom, really, on this roster, it could be anyone's night.
They're a connected group that wants their teammates to be successful, which helps their team be successful. And fortunately, we don't have any of that petty jealousy that can sometimes infiltrate teams. They just want to make sure their team is successful. And as Jim mentioned, our bench, I think, has been our strength in terms of we can, any given night, they can be any of the 9 that have gotten the minutes. So I think that's important that they've embraced that. They understand that's a big part of who we are as those other guys. And as long as it's somebody that has Wisconsin on the front of their jersey, that's all we really care.
To the Packers now, it's got to be hard not to look past the NFC Championship game and right to the Super Bowl, right? Well, it definitely is for the fans. I've heard a lot of people from the grocery store, the shopping center, thinking about Miami already. Even Jimmy Graham mentioned it after the game on Sunday night, how great it would be to go back to his native Miami. But no. Veterans and newbies alike, I can't think like that, especially given how tough Sunday's game is going to be.
We want to make it to the Super Bowl. It's our goal, and, that's just the prize. So it make it all worth it, making it there, but winning it too. But right now, we just worried about this game against the Niners and just want to come out and just start fast, execute, and just stay focused how we've been so far and really just get ready to go to business.
I'd like to think that we've improved throughout the course of the season, especially the last 6 weeks or whatever it's been. Certainly, I don't think we played our best that day, and you got to give them a lot of credit. That was probably a reason for that. That's a really, really talented football team, and we know that.
And a few other football notes tonight. Joe Brady, who was an assistant coach for LSU, it hasn't even been 24 hours since he won a national championship, and he already has a new job. He is going to the Carolina Panthers to be their offensive coordinator. And another note, Chad Johnson, whatever he's going by these days, he's the president of the Devontae Adams fan club. He is trying out to be in the XFL, but as a kicker. Get that? All right, cool. Back here at the Kohl Center, the guys hoping tonight that they will be able to do, remember this from last night, guys, say it with me, learn it, burn it, and turn it. Back to you.
I do remember that. Melissa Kim, live at the Kohl Center. Melissa, thank you. Dave, final check.
Yeah, the weather has been burning it and turning it over the last couple of days with multiple systems. We do have a chance of some freezing rain and some snow tomorrow morning.
All right, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.